Hey, existential crisis, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today, I'm going to be doing an album review on the new J Chou album, 最伟大的作品, or the greatest piece of work. So J Chou, Zhou Jielun, is a legendary Taiwanese singer-songwriter. He has been making music since the early 2000s, and I think even in the 90s. He is a bit of a legend at this point. And sure, J Chou over the years have released a lot of songs and singles and even albums that a lot of people go crazy all about. He has been at the forefront of Mandopop for many years already. But right now we have arrived at 2022, and he has just released an album a couple months ago, I believe, and I didn't even know that he released an album. So first of all, before listening to this album, actually at all, I had never been a huge fan of J Chou because I've never been a huge fan of Mandopop music, because a lot of the Mandopop I listen to are all pretty drab, pretty cliche, nothing all that memorable. So I've never really been into J Chou's music, But I think a couple weeks ago somebody commented on my YouTube channel saying that J Chou has released a new album that got my curiosity, so I decided to check this one out, and I am a bit disappointed because clearly J Chou's new music here is nowhere near up to par as some of his best works in the 2000s. So we have the intro track, which has these epic melodramatic pianos building up to the opening track, which is the title track, which immediately introduces us to these ugly, loud trap beats on top of some classy strings. And then J Chou basically whisper raps over it, and it sounds absolutely awful. The production sounds really compressed for some reason, and then in the middle of the track there's this accordion solo like he's trapped in Paris or something. So it's a very ugly track and not very well produced at all. And then that is followed with 还在流浪 Liu Liang, which means still a nomad, still homeless, I guess. And it's a pretty bland cut of Mandopop with a really formulaic chord progression and these shamelessly thick auto-tune, which sounds kind of awful and it makes the track even worse. Then we have the track 说好不哭 or Told You to Not Cry or something along the lines of that. And it's another average Mandopop song with dramatic sad pianos, but the reason why I think it's one of the better tracks on the album is because at least it's honest and it doesn't try anything silly with the crazy production and the autotune. It's pretty nice and sincere, and it just works. But yeah, this album isn't great after this point either. We have 红颜 Ru Shang, which means cold-hearted, like your heart is like frost. And it's another so-so cut in my opinion. It's kind of laid back, kind of relaxing, kind of quiet, kind of forgettable. The one thing I like about this track is that I like how the soft drum beats are mixed with the guitars, and then with some classical Chinese instruments. I thought the mixture of those instrumentations is kind of creative, but overall this track is just very forgettable. Then we have 不爱我就拉倒, or Stop If You Don't Love Me. And it sounds like a really outdated Mando pop rock track that just has no personality whatsoever. No originality, no personality, not at all. And it's even worse on the next track, Mojito, where we have a pretty sad attempt at bossa nova in 2022. That is followed with 错过的烟火, or Missed Fire, which is some of the most annoying hooks turned up on this track. And the buzzing electronic guitars on this track is just mixed so damn loud for some reason. Afterwards, we are hit with the track 等你下课, 等你下课, which means wait for you to get off class or get off school. And it's another relaxing, cutesy guitar love song. And I like that they're trying to mix in guzheng into the production, which is really nice, but this time it just sounds kind of awkward. And overall, I'm just kind of fed up with this cutesy, relaxing, haha love songs. It's just I've just heard so much of it. It just doesn't work anymore. I've gone numb. That is followed with 粉之海洋, 海洋, or a Pink Ocean, which is a basic Mandopop track, but this time with a banjo, and it just sounds like an awkward tractor commercial. And then we have the track Taujin, which means a shadow or more like a reflection. And it has these lubby-dubby electronic productions and a sequence beat, which is not bad. And overall, it is kind of this simple, nostalgic piano ballad, and it actually works. Because once again, this track doesn't try anything too fancy or crazy or anything like that. It's honest, and it just works. Finally, the album ends off on 我是如此相信, which means I believe you so. And it's a super dramatic, and of course with an album that calls itself the greatest work of, like the greatest piece of work, of course it's going to end off in a super dramatic ending with bells, like church bells and cinematic strings, reverby vocals, and it's just too dramatic for its own good. It's just too dramatic for its own good. It bites off more than it can chew. And the drums are so compressed. I don't know what the hell is with the production of this album, but the drums are so compressed to a point where some of the drums on the track sound like buzzing white noise. And to a degree, I think it's intentional, but it just sounds awful, and it doesn't match with the dramatic tone of the track at all. So, yeah, not a very great ending. So, unfortunately, I did not enjoy this album all that much. There are a couple of okay moments here, but overall, it's just a lackluster album with terrible production, so-so love songs, and questionable beats. I'm giving the new J Chou album 最伟大的作品 a strong 4 out of 10. I'm going to be nice here and give it a 4. So, have you listened to this new J Chou album from 1 to 10? I'm going to rate it, like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. I will be reviewing the new Meridian Brothers album maybe tomorrow, I believe.